Well, hello, Leeds United fans. What is going on in your world? It is Connor. We are back here with another episode on the channel. It's a big game week for Leeds United. Make sure you check it out. G&O, everybody. It's coming to your ears. It's coming to your platforms on the 5th of May. It's an e-commerce site, and the first 50 people who register it for free, who become part of the members club, everybody, they get put into a raffle for a signed, beautiful, even if I admit it, a beautiful Calvin Phillips shirt. And someone will also win 100 quid within those 50 registers. So make sure you're doing that, everybody. Link in the description below. Make sure you do that as well. We are sponsored by the Job Match Group, everybody. Tailored to every need. Never mind Indeed. Never mind all these job sites. Make sure you go for the Job Match Group. Link in the description below. It tailors every single job search to your every single need. Make sure you do that, everybody. Link in the description below. I know there's a lot of you people who might be struggling right now with work, kids looking for work as well. This tailors it specifically to your every need. Okay, Luton versus Leeds United. People have been saying, Joe, from the Turfcast podcast, this is a London fixture for Leeds United. Well, informatively, Joseph, it is not. This is 30 miles outside of London and Bedfordshire. They were all telling me last night Leeds were going to lose. The reason they're going to lose is because it's London. Now, that might be right. 12:30 kickoff. That might be right. However, we're back in. We've got to spin a little bit, haven't we? We've got to spin it. We've got to turn it round. This has got to be the weekend. It's got to be the weekend where Leeds United turn despair into delight. Yesterday, we spoke after Daniel Farke's press conference. A passionate response from myself, a passionate response from my community as well. The comment section was thriving. It was brilliant. A lot of insight in there. And guys, your interaction engagement has been 10 out of 10. Please make sure you slap in a like on the video and get in your comments below. There's thought-provoking bits, emotional bits from you guys as well. And that is exactly what Leeds United does to one and all. But it's a big game for the Whites this weekend. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below with regards to the preview, your lineup, all this sort of stuff. So today I wanted to speak about exactly what the press conference meant last night. Daniel Farke, or yesterday I should say, Daniel Farke made the decision that needed to be made, in my opinion, a lot longer ago. That is where a lot of the frustration built. From my perspective, it should have been done a long time ago. I mentioned Parag. I said, I reckon there's been a conversation, I think, and what we know from Parag and Daniel Farke is they have a very, very, very close-knit bond, a very close-knit bond. So I think, it's just my personal perspective, I might be way off it, but I genuinely believe, and a lot of you guys agreed in the comment section below as well, this isn't factual, it's just what I believe, that I think with this succession of events that have happened with this goalkeeper, I think post the game at the weekend, there will have been a conversation between Daniel Farke and Parag where they came to an understanding and went, do you know what? Yeah, this is it. This is where we need to do it right now. Not in terms of, you know, it needing to be a real altercation and fight between them both or anything like that. But I believe there'll have been a conversation between the ownership and Daniel Farke and an understanding and a little bit of a get-togetherness when it comes to the goalkeeper, an understanding from both sides that this needs to happen and it probably should have happened before. I think an honest conversation will have been had. We're all very much saying, look, the players will have had honest chats after the game week, the recent game week, and that's why they had 2 days rest after coming back from an international break, which never happens, probably because some choice words were said, and I don't believe that just ended in the dressing room. Could be wrong, but that's my personal belief. Luton lost one game in 5. Leeds United won one game in 5. This, unfortunately, for me, was the one of which I wasn't looking forward to. We can go back 10, 15 game weeks and we were doing the final run-ins and is my door shutting or not? Hold on. There we go. That's better, isn't it? We're doing the final run-ins and we're having the conversation and we're having, you know, looking at the fixture ahead and fixtures ahead, I should say, plural. And we're debating which were the tricky ones. I said we go to Borough and win. I said we go to Luton. I thought it was going to be a tricky one for us. I thought we'd go and drop points there. I had Leeds United. For all those who think that I'm just this negative person who cannot stand Daniel Farke and has this agenda as a nigh on 32-year-old male against Daniel Farke. That is not true. I have absolutely no agenda against Daniel Farke. And if I ever met Daniel Farke in a bar after he got my club promoted, I would buy him a drink 100%, a drink or two, to be honest with you. My MO with this manager from day one is to get this Leeds United side up. With the backing, I think we had the best squad in the division. I've said that from day dot. I'm not going back on that now. I've said from day dot, we have the best squad in the Championship. I don't think it's been utilised enough. Some of that can be put down to the players who've not taken the chances. I'll look at Matteo Joseph 100%, and you guys have held me to that. I think there's a little bit more context to it, but we don't need to get into that now. But you guys are right, and there's been some chances which he hasn't taken. But I do look at the bench that we've got. I look at the calibre of player that we had, and a lot of people before the January window were saying that it was the best squad in the division. Then suddenly Sheffield United started buying players, Burnley started acquiring players, and it sort of changed a little bit. And I think there was a little bit of panic there. I was really confident through the January months. Guys, this isn't I don't get tip-offs from the 49ers. I don't get little digs from the 49ers. I wish I did. And then the agenda is real. The agenda makes sense. Not that I would do that anyway, but you get where I'm going. An agenda is normally, you do these sorts of things for X, Y, and Z reason. I don't get anything from it. So why would I? My solid point of view from day dot with this manager, you go all the way back 2 years ago. This manager has been to get this team promoted. Okay. This season, the narrative, the talking point was this side. Every single person who I spoke to pre-season, at the beginning of the season, before January, he has to get this team promoted. There was people saying champions. It had to be champions. If we fell into the playoffs, it would be a failure. A lot of people were saying that. A lot of my good pals who go there week in, week out. Now, they've stuck to it as well. The MO is promotion, okay? So we have to hold this, not only the manager, but the squad, of course, to a very, very high standard. I am not willing to drop that standard. And that is what came from the passionate rant, if you want to call it that I was doing, and what I've done over the last week. It has been a bit of a vent. It's been a little bit of a, why has this not happened before? Why have we let ourselves get into this position? And it's been critically analysing bits, bats, other things. And it has been solution ridden as well. There is bits in there. And that's why I'd never deem it negative or pessimistic, because we have passionate discussions on this channel. We have discourse, debate, discussion. However, there is always a solution. Always a solution. There's always been a solution on here, and it's my perspective. You guys don't have to agree. It's a subjective platform. I might disagree and agree with you guys, but I want to just relay something as well. I hope we're all articulate enough on this channel to be able to relay your thoughts and to be giving me thought-provoking things as well, without calling names, without hurling abuse. You're a lot more into, all of you are way more, I know the one Leeds are anyway, you're all way more intelligent than doing that. And I respect my community because it doesn't ever breed that. And well done to all of you. It's been fantastic to read your comments over the last week, really. It's been very, very insightful. So getting specifically into Luton, as I've just mentioned, main threat, probably Carlton Morris, Adebayo, Alfie Doughty. We know the main names. They've turned it around recently. A 1-0 win at Hull. Kind of context needs to be applied to that a little bit. Hull, not great at home. Hull seem to be fantastic away from home, but they have stirred up a little bit more form in the last couple of months, Hull City. Obviously, the famous win being at Sheffield United, the 3-0 win away. Joe Gelhardt has been getting glowing reports there as well, but Luton did a good job, and it feels like this, we all forget, don't we, that Luton Town were a Premier League club last season. They should have been in the position that we are in right now, top two. I had them winning the division. I thought they had a championship acclimatized squad. They only lost Ross Barkley, and I thought they were going to win the league. I did. So that's the fall from grace. But Kenilworth Road, small ground, tight ground, very similar in my opinion, a little bit more sort of drawn out than Loftus Road, QPR, but it's going to be an extremely tough game, this, for Leeds United. And it is not the game that you want, but Swansea was the game that we wanted, and we didn't acclimatise to that game either. This has got to be a regeneration project right now. For me, there's certain personnel that you can start for this one. There's certain personnel that we can speak about. I'll put a graph on screen now. You can see that Darlow was the main discussion point when it's talking about tactical adjustments. And obviously the tactical adjustments feeds into who's going where, who's not going where. Darlow was the big one. Okay. So he's got that right. At long last, Daniel Farke has got that right. And I hope that pays off for us. And I hope that pays off for the manager as well. I hope right now we're going to see Daniel Farke's decision be vindicated. And people like me who believe it should have been done earlier are proven wrong, and we go on and win the league. Okay? But the MO is top two. The MO has always been top two. And that isn't changing from my standpoint. And that's why I believe either Leeds should have gone and got a goalkeeper. But if the manager didn't want a goalkeeper, Carl Darlow should have been a lot earlier. Okay, Joel Peru and Matteo Joseph. These are just few things that you can do, okay? A few things that are at his disposal. You've got the idea of maybe Peru in the 10, Joseph spearheading the number 9. That's potentially what you could do to impact a potential low block as well that QPR are going to get into in stages in this game. The big thing about this game in particular is tempo. It's doing it from the beginning. It's playing the right passes. It's playing the right passes in front of our quick players, our transitional players who are very good speed-wise, counter-attack-wise, all that culmination of Leeds just been an absolute freight train on the counter-attack, which we were even in away games very recently, really, in recent memory. Stoke, Derby, Coventry, Watford. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that where we're solid at the back, but we can hit teams on the counter-attack. The main differential for me was when we did that, we hit the balls in front of some of our speed merchants. We hit the ball in front of them, not played it behind them, not getting dud passes which go out of play, not the accuracy being completely off. It needs to be crisp. It needs to be accurate. It needs to be levelled. And for me, Leeds United have been off. I'll be honest with you, even the wins, I think we've been off colour from Sunderland onwards. I really do. So this needs changes. Is the side, I know Leeds fans are probably going to be a little bit worried about it being too much change, and I understand that because that can be a factor in football. But what I would say is maybe it needs it right now. And it's because it's got to this point of which I feel when you've got Solomon with 1 goal in 12, Dan James with 1 goal contribution in 5, Joel Peru with 1 goal contribution in 7, and Brendan Aaronson with 2 goals in 2025. I think this should have happened earlier. Once again, we're referring back to what we spoke about before. That is the frustration right now with the manager not rotating the front 4 and the goalkeeper. However, we park that. It's a completely different MO now. We have to go to Luton. We have to go to Borough and get positive results. We cannot get beat in our next 2 games. I was asked the question last night by the lads, if we lose this weekend and both of us win in terms of Burnley and Sheffield United, do I think it's over? I personally do, because I've seen this rap sheet before. I've seen this story before, where Leeds United's mentality is battered at a certain stage of the season. And if it gets into 1 win in 6, I mean, that is just abundantly clear that Leeds are in problem setting. It's a real big problem there. So kind of that's where I'm at with it. If I'm honest with you guys, I think pending those 2 win, we have to get something positive. We have to. We cannot get dragged out again where those 2 gain substantial points on us. It cannot happen because they're not slowing down at all. And the only slowing down bit I can see with those 2 at the minute, with the form that Burnley have been in, the surprising nature of which they turned up to Bristol City and just battered them after Sheffield United really struggled. Sheffield United just seemed to grind out wins constantly, and that doesn't seem to be slowing down, of which we all thought it would do. Leeds right now have got it all in our own hands. All in our own hands. We can still get into the top 2 right now if we win every game. That is what it is right now. And can Leeds do that? Of course we can. We've got 4 games in the bottom 7 to 4 teams in the bottom 7 to play. We've still got the most favourable fixture list. The worst game, in my opinion, that we've got coming up, probably when you look at the games remaining, is probably Middlesbrough. There's a conversation that Bristol City might be out of it by the time that we play them. But it's up to us now. It's up to us as fans to keep the standard, but it's up to the players to raise that standard right now. I would be going with these 2 in the side who you'll be able to see on screen now. The conversation was on this guy here, Willian Yonso, in the number 10. I would partner him for this game in particular. My starting 11 for this game would be Carl Darlow in there, Jayden Bogle right back. I'll be having Pascal Struijk and Joe Rodon. I will be having at left back Junior Firpo is going to be a welcome addition. Welcome back, Junior. We've missed you sorely. In the midfield, I don't know what's happening with Ampadu. Is he fit? Is he not fit? I would look to go with Rothwell and Tanaka in here, Largi Ramazani, Willian Yonto, and then on that right-hand side, I am still going to stick with Dan James. I just want, you look at that international break, and I am going to go with Joel Peru up front. But you look at that international break and how James's standard was still high, scoring goals, getting man of the match. I just feel that maybe I was wrong. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we're seeing him being run into the ground, but we're not utilising him properly. We're not utilising that counter-attack. What happens basically, guys, is when we're trying to counter-attack, if we misplace the pass, the opposition team can get into a mid to low block very, very efficiently and quickly. What we were doing previously is moving the ball quickly within 1 or 2 touches. I think that facilitates Dan James on a counter-attack hugely. Play the ball in behind, murder Luton with pace. And the technical addition of Ramazani right now and Willian Yonto is absolutely essential for this side. I think it's really important. I think Solomon, if it is based on a meritocracy right now, 1 goal in 12, I think we've seen his form dip. DJ just keeps his place purely because of the speed on the counter-attack, which I think the really good ball passes like Rothwell and Tanaka are going to be able to facilitate. Guys, fascinated to hear what you think on this one. I've got a head and I've got a heart prediction. My heart says 3-1 Leeds. My head says 1-1. What do you go with? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like before you leave, check out Gino and the Job Match Group. We'll see you on the watch along tomorrow. Cheers.